SYNSYS leg system from PROTEOR. So it's been actually a couple months now since I was on the SYNSYS and made the original full-length video, and to be quite honest, I miss it. I do miss it, and I didn't think so. When SYNSYS first came out about a year ago, I kind of, was really hesitant. As somebody that's really active, I wear all pro feet and an X3, and so I like things that are like giving me energy and let's go, go, go. I don't want to slow down. And SYNSYS kind of, in my head was designed to be a slower leg, maybe not keep up with the things that I want to do all the time. And while that might be true in some small fashion, it's also not true at all in a lot of others. And still, it is something that it's like, man, when I'm at home, I do miss that thing, and it's pretty cool. So, triple flexion, having the knee and ankle combined and pulling with the tendon so that you get toe clearance and dorsiflexion in certain times really is really nice and makes for a lot of really comfortable movements. So we'll go through all the features here and give a quick breakdown and wrap it up.
So here I'm just demonstrating how much dorsi and plantar flexion the ankle actually gets, which as you can see is a ton, and really is what allows for all of these comfortable movements that we're about to go through. So here with regular strides, you can kind of see that the ankle does lift, the toes lift a little bit, but you can see it better on short steps. How once I slow down and take these short steps, that toe just lifts ever so slightly, which really on short steps especially is needed because you need just a little bit more clearance on those. You don't get as much flexion kickback, and so you need just a little bit more toe clearance, and that makes everything really comfortable. And then squatting here, we won't spend a whole lot of time on it, but it's just refreshing that I could do this and that it was comfortable, and so that was a nice little new movement. Then the knee on the SYNSYS has two buttons, a button on the right and a button on the left, which you can check battery and different things like that, but it also allows you to change the heel height. So the knee ankle is allowed 10 programmable heel heights, so that means that you could put in 10 different shoes and then just go into your app and click on that shoe. But if you're out shopping for shoes or something, you can use the buttons to change the heel height and not have to mess with your alignment. The stumble recovery on SYNSYS is a little bit different than on a lot of other microprocessor knees. So you can see as I kind of stumble here, the knee kind of catches and locks out at that angle with the knee ankle both kind of locking out. And so that gives you a really safe, comfortable stumble recovery, because I don't have to throw my good leg out in front of me. I don't have to throw my prosthetic out in front of me or work really hard to get into a safe position. The knee really does a good job of locking, and the ankle does a good job of supporting you, and so you can stay safe and comfortable and really rely on it. And then if you end up in a stumble, you can also do this little crouch walk. For me, it's more of like chasing my nieces around, but I do people that are like working, certain jobs where they're always crouching. Maybe you're in a crawl space, maybe you're always, doing HVAC, things like that. I think that this is would be super handy, and if you were able to get good at it, it would make a big difference in those types of jobs for sure. Stair descent is also a little bit different than other microprocessor knees because you have that ankle and you get the flexion out of the ankle. You don't have to put the foot half on. I put the foot fully on the stair and then ride the ankle, and it allows me to stay on the knee and use that yielding just a little bit longer, and so it's a safer, more comfortable type of stair descent. And SYNSYS has an extended lock, so you can stand with the knee fully extended, locked out, and it will lock. And it also has a flexion lock, so if you get it a little bit bent, you get the knee bent just a little bit, and then you sink your weight into the toe of the foot, it'll lock out at that angle that you're at. And another thing that I do like about SYNSYS is that it gives feedback when it's locked. So if I get it into that flexion lock, it vibrates and I know that it's locked, and that's nice too. Just another little peace of mind. Sitting is a big difference on SYNSYS as well, because you have that triple flexion. You know, your knee can get under you and your foot can stay under you and your foot also can stay on the ground. A lot of us that are used to sitting with typical carbon spring feet, you know that you're always going to be kind of in an uncomfortable position, or your toes are going to be off the ground, or whatever that is. With SYNSYS, you know your foot's always going to be flat on the ground. So like I have, you know, a 6-month baby at home, and if I'm holding her or doing something and I need to stand up to go walking, it's nice knowing that even though I can't see my foot because I'm holding her, that like my foot is safe, it's flat, it's comfortable. Whereas sometimes on like my All Pro, if I'm sitting in a relaxed position, I have to like stand up and roll onto the middle of the foot to make sure that it's like I'm all the way on the foot, or I need to be able to see it, you know. And so knowing that the ankle and the foot are flat, and it gives you just that extra control and extra peace of mind, and it makes sitting a lot more comfortable, being able to have that foot under you and not get, you know, uneven socket pressures.
So that's SYNSYS. I, like I said at the beginning, I am kind of missing it. The triple flexion creates such comfortable, natural movements, especially around my house. I don't really have stairs in my house, and so that is a big benefit. The knee, ankle, both. It's a leg. It comes with 10 plus days of battery life, and that is pretty true to 10. Maybe you can even get more out of it depending on your activity level. But 10 days is like crazy compared to comparable devices, and so that's really nice to just know that like that thing is gonna run forever. I do think that it's difficult from the practitioner side, where it has to be custom built height wise, because there is no pylon in between there, because there's tendons moving up and down in the shaft in where a pylon would be. It does have to be custom built, and so that maybe creates a couple barriers. But again, now that I've seen it and used it, I think that it makes a lot of sense and is worth like taking the couple extra steps that it takes to get PROTEOR and Craig out to help with the fitting and get it custom built. It's worth it in the end, and makes a big difference. I do think like the one thing that if it had Stair Ascent, I think I would be like, I'm gonna use this. I'll wear this over my X3. I don't know that for sure, because it's hard to say, but that's really kind of the one thing that it's missing is Stair Ascent, and I think that if it had that, which is difficult to do, it's not a knock on the knee. It's just like that's the one thing that it's kind of missing. But yeah, I mean, being able to get that toe clearance all the time, being able to keep your foot all the way on the stairs you're going downstairs, and being safe there, being able to get that foot flat when you're going down ramps, and really helps you yield that knee. It's a really comfortable leg, and like I said, I do miss it in a lot of ways, and so I think that is like, that's pretty cool for me to say that, because I was very skeptical when it first came out, and I wasn't sure if it was like even worth exploring. And now it's like, man, that thing is comfort. It is comfort. And so, to get a demo and a trial out is a little bit more difficult, but I think that if you're a practitioner and you have a patient that you think would benefit from this, it's worth just seeing, and it's worth just getting Craig and the PROTEOR team out to check it out and see where it fits kind of in your patient demographic. But that's all for this week. We'll see you next time. Thanks.